I'm commercial banking, relationship management. So we have probably 12 of us that are commercial lenders.
Mm-hmm.
We work with businesses of a certain size determined by revenue, and do everything that could be banking. It's most of what we do is loans. Somebody wants to build a new facility, borrow a piece of equipment, have a line of credit, that kind of stuff. Then we do checking accounts and merchant and cash management, investments, payroll, insurance. Those are the big things. But all those things focused on a business client and the business owners. A typical work day. It changes a lot. Some days we focus on, I wonder if I can show you a snapshot. I don't know if it's relevant, but I try to block everything on my calendar as a means of, staying out of trouble and keeping organized. But some days I spend time on credit, where we get a request and we have to do a lot of number crunching. Some days we're out walking the street trying to drum up new business. What else?
So it's different every day?
It is. There's some repetition in terms of we always focus a certain amount on credit. We always have sales-related activities. It's actually a very sales-oriented job.
Okay.
Trying to get new clients or build. We have a portfolio of clients that we all manage, and could be a mix of different types of businesses. And we're responsible for growing that a certain amount every year. The focus is kind of the same year-round. There's always some credit. There's always some kind of compliance, especially with what's gone on in the past few years. And there's always some amount of sales, but what the specific activity is changes.
Okay.
And we kind of run amok most of the times.
Yeah.
I would say, if you had asked me before I started this job, 10 years ago, because that was kind of the big conversion for me, it would have been, CPAs and number crunchers across the board. I think it's very different now. You have to have some amount of credit expertise, some amount of financial acumen. Is that the right word? Financial intelligence. Some strength in math, but really, if you are an extrovert and can have a sales focus, you can learn the credit stuff. That's easier to learn, I think, than trying to teach somebody to be confident in a group, go out and seek new business, start up conversations, the whole sales growth part. So I put a note that organized extroverts with strong communication and financial skills. Not so well are entrepreneurs. While they have that same energy, they can feel boxed in, because this can be a fairly confining job. Because of the regulation around banking, general lending, the monitoring. You can only do things within a certain parameter. You're bound by external forces, and that could drive the entrepreneurial spirit kind of crazy.
Okay.
I think all of our team has a minimum of a bachelor's degree. So I don't know if that's written in stone anywhere. I know our leadership team has kind of set that as a threshold.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is, if you have comparable experience, you've been doing it for the past 30 years, you don't have a degree, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's really about performance.
Okay.
If you're coming right off the street, it's going to be hard. I say right off the street, right out of college or right out of high school, it's going to be hard to get anything but an internship. But if you have a lot of experience on the banking side or a lot of sales experience, there's a potential. I did not leave high school or at any point in high school looking to be in finance.
Really?
No, it was probably for a couple of reasons. First of all, as a high school student, and in fact some in middle school, I really wanted to study architecture. I pursued it a little bit, got a little freaked out my freshman year in college because of the solitude surrounding architecture. Because I like being around people, and the whole thing of sitting in a studio and doing a lot of drawing was not appealing. I do kind of miss that, but that was my goal when I was younger. The finance thing, the second reason finance was not really on the radar is it was pretty far away from what I was familiar with as a kid. Not a lot of exposure to banking other than bouncing checks. Or I didn't have an ATM card until I started working, probably about 16 years old. It wasn't there wasn't a lot of discussion about the financial field because me nor my folks had a whole lot of experience in it. And it was something that was pretty far off the radar. I don't think so. I think I would have done a little more on the education side, a little more financial education. I had, even though I did the master's program, still had quite a bit digging in terms of cash flow and really understanding what the ratios of a particular financial statement meant. What did that mean in terms of decisions and strategies of a business? And then I've also learned there's a big difference between understanding financial performance and understanding credit. That's a whole different ballgame.